Hey everyone. So this is just going to be a brief, unscripted video for those of you who are thinking about getting into this whole YouTube thing yourselves. Now, this is not going to be a how to succeed on YouTube video because, well, that would be incredibly hypocritical of me because at the time I'm recording this, I am not exactly successful on YouTube. And I'm sure you can read any number of articles or watch any number of videos that say things like, make good thumbnails, find your niche, upload regularly. No, this is just how you can preserve your sanity and your mental health while making content on YouTube. I should also point out that there's not going to be a whole lot of relevant video in this video, so feel free to treat it like a podcast and simply switch to another browser tab while you listen to it. So, without further ado, my first piece of advice is, don't quit your day job. Now, I know what you're thinking. Gee, thanks, Dad. But hear me out, alright? Now, it's perfectly fine if you want to make money from your channel, either through Patreon or YouTube's ad revenue or something else. But you do not want to put yourself in a situation where your ability to pay your bills is dependent on the success of your channel. And there are a few reasons for this. First of all, making money on YouTube basically means you have to have a certain level of fame, and fame is fleeting, especially internet fame. Second, I hear a lot of people saying, I want to be an influencer, or I want to be a YouTuber as my career because that means I don't have a boss. Wrong. As a YouTuber, you do have a boss, and that boss is the algorithm. And a real boss, at least a good boss, will tell you what you're doing wrong and give you suggestions for improvement at your annual performance review. YouTube will not do that for you. Sure, there's this analytics page, but I'm going to be blunt and say that nothing here will help you. No one knows how exactly the algorithm works except the engineers at Google, and they aren't going to share that information because otherwise people would just game the whole thing. So in other words, as a YouTuber, your boss is not a real person, it's this inscrutable piece of code written by a software engineer working in a cupboard somewhere. At any point, the algorithm might decide that the type of content you're making isn't going to get promoted anymore. And poof, there goes your ad revenue. Or worse, your videos might get copyright claimed. Sure, the claimant might not have a legal leg to stand on, but the copyright claim system is not there for your benefit. Sure, you can dispute the claims, but if you fail, guess what? Copyright strike, get too many copyright strikes and your channel is finished. So yes, by all means, monetize your channel, make money from it, but don't make it your career. And another reason you don't want to make YouTube your primary source of income is something that I've heard called audience capture. You see, if you make one type of content, like let's say you want to be angry gamer gets angry about games, well, you're going to have an audience that will expect you to make content like that, and the algorithm is going to encourage you to continue making similar content. Now, if you're dependent on your channel for your income, you've essentially locked yourself into being angry gamer getting angry about games. Your audience expects that, the algorithm expects that, and you need to make that kind of content if you want to stay afloat financially. Whereas, if you don't rely on your channel for income, if you're doing it just as a hobby, then you can make whatever you want because there's no real consequences for it. The second way to avoid going insane on YouTube is learning how to deal with hate, because you will get hate. If your channel has any sort of popularity whatsoever, you will get insulting, rude, snide, snarky comments. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be making a totally wholesome video about two kittens frolicking in a meadow somewhere, and someone will come along and say, "This video sucks and you should die." It's going to happen. It would be naive of you to expect otherwise. So, yes, it will happen. People will insult you. They will insult you for anything. They will make fun of you for your voice, your accent, your pronunciation. Yes, there are people on YouTube who get really mad, like steaming mad, when you say words wrong, alright? In fact, I've even heard that some people will actually deliberately pronounce words wrong in their videos just so that people will get mad about it and comment, and that counts as engagement, which boosts your video according to the algorithm. So you need to learn how to deal with it. You can't stop hate, but you can control how you react to it. So the first thing is, stop freaking out about dislikes, right? Dislikes, as far as I know, do not really hurt you. They don't show up on YouTube anymore, and they technically count as engagement, so they theoretically should boost your videos in the ranking. Again, don't quote me on that, because as I said before, no one really knows for certain how the algorithm works, but just think of the dislike button as a button that's not hooked up to anything. Now, angry comments, on the other hand, can get under your skin. In particular, the one type of comment that I find really destructive to my faith in humanity are the people with zero listening comprehension. You will get comments from people who say things like, well, you didn't mention X, therefore you don't know anything about X, therefore your point is invalid, when you in fact mention X several times in your video. You will have people making ridiculous straw man arguments in order to dunk on you. Usually these comments can be identified by the fact that they always begin with the phrase, "So what you're saying is..." You will get all these types and more. And again, you can't stop people from making these comments, but you can control how you react to them. But fortunately for you, you don't have to put up with any of it. YouTube will allow you to just delete comments. When you post a video, you can turn on strict comment moderation so that any potentially offensive comments will be sent to you for review. Now I know what some people are going to say. Oh, so you delete comments from anyone who disagrees with you, is that it? And to that I would say, yes. You see, your channel is your space. You don't have to put up with any kind of behavior if you don't want to. You are not someone's elected official. You are not holding a town hall meeting. You don't need to tolerate anything you don't like. If someone's being an asshole, if someone's being rude or snarky, then guess what? You can just go ahead and delete their comments. More importantly, however, YouTube does have a handy feature called Hide User from Channel. What this will do is that when you use this option on a comment, it will be removed, but not for the person who posted it. They will still be able to post comments and see their own comments, but they will just be shouting into the void. It's sort of like a shadow ban on Reddit. And believe me, nothing feels as good as just zapping snarky little comments with the Hide User from Channel. Just like, and it's gone. Another handy feature in the settings section of your channel is the blocked words list. This is simply a list of words that, if someone puts them into a comment, it will automatically hold that comment for review. So what you should do is put your name, address, email address, and phone number into this section so that people cannot easily dox you in the comments. That might sound extreme, but there are some extreme people out there. All that said, do not ignore actual constructive criticism. So if people are pointing out that, hey, your music is too loud, or the music you've chosen for this video is inappropriate, or I can't hear what you're saying, then pay attention to that. And by all means, engage with people who are offering good faith criticism, but do not respond to hateful, trolling comments. Sure, you may feel the temptation to put them in their place with some cutting remark, but it isn't worth it. You're not going to get them to re-examine their life. You're not going to leave them whimpering and sobbing in the wake of your verbal onslaught. If anything, you've just proven that you can be baited into responding. So just ignore them, or delete them, or hide the user from the channel, because you don't owe anyone a debate. You don't owe them your time. And the third way to avoid going insane on YouTube is, don't fuss over the analytics page. I know there's a lot of numbers and data here, but none of it will help you. It will only bring you down. For example, when you upload a video, it will give it a ranking from 1 to 10 on how well it compares to your other videos. And what could be more depressing than that? You can put a huge amount of effort into making a video on a subject you are really passionate about, and then YouTube will say, It didn't get as much views as your other videos. Try harder next time, loser. So don't sweat the numbers. Don't sweat the analytics. If you go chasing numbers, if you go chasing the algorithm, you're just gonna burn yourself out and make yourself miserable. And if making videos isn't fun anymore, if the comments you're receiving are really getting you down, then feel free to just walk away, either for a while or for good. Your mental health is more important than whatever your audience demands of you. And lastly, have some hobbies that aren't YouTube, that aren't video games. Hobbies that get you out of the house, whether it's hiking or jogging or camping or hitting the gym or joining a book club or becoming a photographer or anything like that. Because you don't want this to be your entire personality. Believe me, I've seen people who make YouTube their entire personality and it's not pretty. I'm sure we all wish we had Mr. Beast's money, but do we really want to be Mr. Beast, this guy whose smile looks like a cry for help from an anguished soul in the depths of the deepest torment known to mankind? No, I don't think so. Anyway, those are my suggestions for those of you who want to start making videos. I don't know if they'll be of help to you, but if they are, great. Thanks for watching, everyone.